Aliens. Aliens represent humanity's most widely reported and debated cryptid. Unlike creatures bound to Earth, alien encounters span continents and centuries. In 1973, two men changed the UFO landscape forever. Charles Hickson and Calvin Parker claimed they were abducted by extraterrestrial beings from a river in Mississippi. They described gray humanoid creatures with elongated heads and hypnotic eyes. Their detailed accounts became a blueprint for thousands of similar abduction claims that followed. Today, governments worldwide acknowledge unidentified aerial phenomena. The U.S. military has released footage of objects performing impossible maneuvers, defying conventional physics. Yet no physical evidence of extraterrestrial contact has ever been confirmed. The debate remains: could they exist? Probably. Have they visited Earth? Thousands claim yes. Science demands proof. And that's where the mystery stays, suspended between belief and evidence. Bigfoot or Sasquatch? No cryptid has captured Americans' imagination quite like Bigfoot. For centuries, indigenous peoples reported encounters with a massive, hair-covered humanoid living in North American forests. Then in 1967, everything changed. The Patterson-Gimlin film, shot in Northern California, showed what appeared to be a 7-foot-tall creature covered in dark hair, walking upright through the forest. The footage became the most analyzed video in cryptozoology history. Is it a real creature or a man in a suit? Scientists remain divided. Over 10,000 Bigfoot sightings have been reported across North America, with consistent descriptions of a bipedal ape-like being. Search teams have combed the forests for decades with thermal imaging, trail cameras, and DNA analysis. Yet no bones, no bodies, no conclusive physical evidence has ever been found. The mystery persists. How can a creature so large remain completely hidden from science in the modern age? Fresno Nightcrawlers. In 1987, the small town of Fresno, California experienced a wave of bizarre encounters. Residents reported seeing small, hairless humanoid creatures crawling on all fours through neighborhoods at night. The creatures were described as roughly 2 feet tall, pale-skinned, and utterly alien in appearance. What set Fresno Nightcrawlers apart from other cryptids was the video evidence. Footage captured the creatures moving with an unsettling, insectoid gait across yards and streets. The video became one of cryptozoology's most recognizable pieces of evidence. Are they extraterrestrial? Interdimensional beings? Genetic experiments escaped from laboratories? The debate continues, but the video remains grainy, eerie, and unexplained. Interest in Fresno Nightcrawlers has resurged in recent decades as the footage has spread across the internet, introducing new generations to one of America's strangest cryptid phenomena. Mothman. In November 1966, Point Pleasant, West Virginia became the epicenter of one of America's strangest cryptid phenomena. Multiple witnesses reported a massive winged creature with a 10-foot wingspan and hypnotic red eyes. One couple described it chasing their car at speeds exceeding 100 miles per hour. Over the next 13 months, more than 100 sightings were reported. Police officers, construction workers, and families all claimed encounters with the same entity, a gray, bat-like humanoid that defied explanation. The sightings mysteriously ceased after the collapse of the Silver Bridge in December 1967, which killed 46 people. Some believers claim Mothman was a harbinger, warning of the coming disaster. Others suggest the trauma of the bridge collapse ended the sightings psychologically. To this day, Mothman remains one of cryptozoology's most documented and credible case studies, with witness testimonies that remain consistent and compelling. Ningen. In the early 2000s, Japanese fishermen operating in Antarctic waters reported encounters with massive humanoid creatures swimming in the depths. These beings, called Ningen, meaning human, in Japanese, were described as enormous white creatures with human-like faces, approximately 20 to 30 meters long. Unlike most cryptids, Ningen reports come from a specific source, deep-sea fishing crews, making them difficult to investigate or verify. The creatures were reportedly indifferent to the ships, suggesting they might be unaware of human presence or unconcerned with it. Scientific institutions have dismissed Ningen as misidentifications of known marine life, possibly giant squid or whale species seen from unusual angles. However, the consistency of Japanese fishermen's reports, combined with the vastness of the ocean's unexplored depths, keeps the mystery alive. Ningen represents a modern cryptid phenomenon born from internet culture, where modern-era creature reports spread globally through digital networks rather than word of mouth. Chupacabra. In 1995, Puerto Rico was gripped by panic. Livestock, sheep, goats, and chickens were found dead with mysterious puncture wounds and drained of blood. Farmers and villagers blamed a creature they called Chupacabra, literally goatsucker in Spanish. What followed was mass hysteria spreading across Latin America. Hundreds of livestock deaths were attributed to the creature. Witnesses described a reptilian, spike-backed beast with red eyes and an insatiable thirst for blood. The Chupacabra became a cultural phenomenon, generating books, movies, and countless sightings. However, scientific investigation revealed that most Chupacabra attacks were actually the work of known predators, diseased coyotes, wild dogs, and other animals misidentified in the panic. Yet despite scientific debunking, Chupacabra sightings continue. The legend has become so embedded in Latin American culture that people still report encounters decades later. Chupacabra represents how fear, mystery, and cultural narrative can transform mundane animal deaths into the stuff of legend. Loveland Frogman. On March 3, 1972, a police officer in Loveland, Ohio reported witnessing something extraordinary. He described a creature approximately 3 to 4 feet tall with gray-green skin, bulging eyes, and a frog-like appearance standing upright on the side of the road. The officer filed an official police report. Days later, another officer reported seeing the same creature in the same area. What makes Loveland Frogman unique is the credibility of the witnesses, police officers with no history of fabrication. Unlike most cryptid reports that come from civilians, this encounter was documented in official law enforcement records. The creature reportedly held a metal rod, which some interpreted as proof of alien origin. Since 1972, there have been sporadic Loveland Frogman sightings in Ohio and nearby states. The creature has become a regional icon, representing one of cryptozoology's most credible documented cases. Skinwalkers. In Navajo culture, skinwalkers represent something far darker than typical cryptids. These are said to be witches who have acquired the ability to transform into animals, wolves, coyotes, owls, and other creatures. Traditional Navajo teachings describe them as malevolent entities that hunt at night, mimicking human voices to lure victims. For generations, skinwalker stories were told around fires as cultural warnings. But in recent decades, the legend has exploded in paranormal communities. Reports of encounters have multiplied across the American Southwest. Witnesses describe humanoid creatures with animal features, glowing eyes, and impossible speed. Some claim skinwalkers can appear as human beings, making them virtually undetectable. The Navajo Nation has become increasingly concerned about outsiders exploiting their sacred traditions, with many tribal members requesting that skinwalker discussions be respected and kept within their communities. The debate centers not on whether they're real, but on whether non-Navajo should even be investigating them. If you want more interesting videos with fun explanations like this, hit the subscribe button.